Three more quick tips in Civil 3D to help with your productivity and a little bit with your quality of life inside the program. First, let's start with a productivity tip. On my screen I have two Cocoa points, one at 100 and one at 200. By default, Civil 3D draws objects in 3D. So if I drew a polyline from that node and one from this node, that one is at elevation 100 and this is at elevation 200. If I go to do a fillet, let's give it a radius of 5, and I try to fillet these, it will not work because they are coplanar. And this happens to me a lot when I'm just doing pure drafting with some 3D elements in the background for reference or something. If you're doing pure drafting and you're not worried about 3 dimensions, then I would recommend you lock all of your drafting to a certain elevation. You can access that through your options menu under the drafting tab. Down here there's replace Z values of current elevation. If this is on, it will draw all elements at the elevation of your active UCS. So now if I draw a line and a line, notice that this is at 0 elevation. Now if I go to play again, it works just fine. If you don't want to go to the options dialog box to toggle this on and off, the keying command is OsnapZ. And you can, there's a value between 0 and 1, with 1 being on and 0 being off, so I'll hit 0 to turn it back off and I'm right back. So if you're doing this a lot, flipping back and forth, you can add it to your properties dialog box for some quick toggles. Next, let's do a quick quality of life tip. You ever noticed whenever you're coming up here to change your drawings that you will see your model and all of your layouts in your drawing? Have you ever went up here to change drawings, flipping between 1 and 3, and you accidentally hover over this and it does what it just did to me, flips over to that layout? Depending on how many layouts you have in a drawing, how fast your computer is, and how cooperative Civil 3D is that day, this could lag you out. If you don't want this operation that you see me doing, just hovering over them, there is a system variable that will turn this off. So it is called Filetabthumbhover. By default it is turned on. If you turn it off to 0, and now I do this, it will not do that switching between model space and layout just by hovering over it. I prefer to keep this off because of what I was just talking about. I may come up here and my mouse just gets just the right spot and it wants to go over this layout and I'm flipping, my screen's going black and white, flipping back and forth. So there's the system variable that you can set. Another thing is that Civil 3D out of the box, if you've noticed, when you open the program, it will automatically load the start bar and a drawing number 1. So not only is the program booting, opening up the program and all of its ribbons and everything in the background, is also opening up a drawing and all of its assets, which can take a while depending on your computer. Another variable called Startup, you are able to change that behavior. The Startup variable has a value from 0 to 3, with the default being 1, and where it displays the startup and creates a new drawing. I would recommend moving it to 2, so that whenever you open Civil 3D, it only comes this far right here and stops. Because, let's be honest, most of the time when you're opening Civil 3D, you're maybe not making a new drawing, you're opening something you've already worked on. So that drawing 1 is just a wasted step. If you like these tips, please like the video. Feel free to subscribe for more videos in the future, and leave comments as you please.